Hello everyone, welcome once again to Best Recipes with Sharon. And before we get started with today's recipe, I would like to introduce to you my first cookbook. It's called Best Recipes with Sharon, Homemade Meals and Appetizers Made Easy. It includes a QR code that links you directly to my channel. And you would just scan it on the camera mode and click the icon that comes up. And then when you're on the channel, you can click on videos or go to the playlist. Or go over to the far right on the bar and search what recipe you're looking for. Here I'm typing in pancakes, so every pancake recipe that I have on my channel will show up here. And every recipe that's in this book is backed up by a video or picture on this YouTube channel. This way you can see what the recipes look like. So how cool is that feature, right? To get your copy, you can just simply click on the link that's beside the trailer on the front of my channel. It'll take you straight to the Amazon page where you can purchase this. And it's the perfect size to add to anyone's recipe collection. It's a great gift for yourself or for anyone else in your list. And thank you so much in advance. Let's get right to today's video now. I would like to bring to you this special recipe for confetti rainbow bit frosting. It's not so easy to find in the stores anymore, so here's a homemade recipe for it. So let's get right down to making this. We'll create a double boiler effect with a pot of hot water on the stove and place another pot inside. If you have silicone mats, that works excellent for this. We'll start by melting some white chocolate to make the confetti bits. And this is a 226 gram package of white chocolate chips. Place that in the smaller pot and put that in on top of the boiling water. Turn your heat down and just let it simmer gently until the white chocolate is melted. You can use any of the white chocolate that you prefer, and I use the white chocolate chips because they melt faster. If you use chunks of white chocolate, you need to break them into smaller pieces so that it will melt easier for you. Now when it comes to food coloring, there's the liquid food coloring or there's the gel-based formula. And I'd recommend the gel-based formula because when you put it into your melted white chocolate, it's not as apt to seize or clump up on you. Now we're going to take the melted white chocolate and divide it up amongst 4 small dishes. And when you're melting your white chocolate, make sure not to leave it in the hot water for very long. Only as long as you need to start it melting. Give it a good stir and remove the pot from the hot water. Alright, so now that we have them divided up into 4 small dishes, we will add the food coloring so that we can have 4 different colors. So this will give us the confetti or rainbow effect that we're looking for. And who would have thought that those delicious little bits that's in a confetti frosting is simply white chocolate? And you add enough of the food coloring just to make it the color that you want it to be. This is the beauty of the gel food coloring because you can add a little bit more and make it a deeper color without compromising it very much. And what I mean by that is it's melted white chocolate, and while it's still warm, it will be easy to work with. If it starts to cool off, it'll start to harden up on you, so work quickly. So we have our pink and our green and now a little bit of yellow. And I think I'll do the last one, a pastel blue. You know, you could do these any colors that you would want to. If you wanted to do them Christmas colors, you could just do green and red. Or if you're celebrating some kind of party where there's a color theme, you could do that too. Now I'm using rubber mats. You could do this on parchment paper, but the rubber mats are wonderful. So you pour it out, spread it out a little bit, do it quickly before it starts to set on you. And you need to spread them out fairly thin, just you're going to be chopping them up after, so if you can spread it out reasonably thin, it'll make your chopping much easier. I took my rubber mats and placed them on a cookie sheet and then placed them in the fridge or in a cool spot to set. Now on to the frosting. Start by sifting your icing sugar. This makes a huge difference. You want to make sure that your frosting is creamy and smooth. You must do this. So while you're sifting your icing sugar, make sure you have enough for about 3.5 cups. So it's nice and smooth with no lumps. That's a great start. Place 3/4 cup of unsalted butter in your large mixing bowl. Then you add your cream cheese, which is about 6 ounces or 170 grams. Both of these ingredients need to be at room temperature. Whip them together until they're really well incorporated. And don't be afraid to let it go for a few minutes. Then add your sifted icing sugar 1 cup at a time, beating it well between each addition, and you'll need a total of 3.5 cups of icing sugar. You need to stop every once in a while and scrape the side of the bowl down. This will help to make sure that your frosting is evenly distributed. So like I said, keep adding the icing sugar 1 cup at a time, beat it, and add a little bit more, and do it until you've got your full amount in there and it's well combined. So there is a lot of stopping and starting, but it needs to be whipped thoroughly. And it's so nice to have an electric mixer where it does all the work for you. And you can see the creamy texture here, looking pretty good. Right, so let's just add a little bit more flavor to it. We'll add about 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla. And mix that in really well. And I give it a good sprinkle of salt, just to accentuate the flavor a little bit more. So you can see here, it's a wonderful fluffy cream cheese frosting, and it tastes as good as it looks too. Now that our white chocolate is chilled, we can break it into smaller pieces and chop it until it's as fine as you want it to be. And as you can see here, the silicone mats are very helpful. It's so easy to remove it from that. And we'll just take each of these pieces of white chocolate and chop them into small squares or pieces, and place each color in a separate bowl. Now that we have these ready, we'll go ahead and add some to our frosting. So here you can add as many as you wish. Start with a nice little handful of each color, and we'll mix that in and then assess whether we need to add a little bit more or not. Actually, I think we need a little bit more, don't you? You want those little rainbow bits to show through quite nicely. This is looking more like it. Now you'll likely have a few of the white chocolate bits left over. They'll be fine for decorating the top of the cupcakes with if you want a little bit more color. Now this is a really creamy cream cheese frosting with these rainbow bits in it. And it's very much like what you would buy in the store from Betty Crocker or those kinds of companies, but it's homemade and it tastes really good. I think you'll be quite impressed. It's really hard to find those in the store nowadays. So now you can make your own. Homemade confetti rainbow bit frosting. Can't beat it. It's a sweet treat. If you want the recipe for the chocolate cupcakes, I just used the recipe off my channel that was for the chocolate snacking cake, because that's a rich and moist cake and it goes well with this frosting. So there you have it, another great recipe, this time for a frosting that you won't forget. And I hope you enjoyed this video and find it helpful. And if you did, please leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to watch the ads that support this video. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy eating.